Hello and welcome to Scythe and Shield, a GrindExp Diablo 3 podcast. Hello, I am Dr J Dredscythe, and I will lead you through adventures with great discussions with great people on the larger topics of the day in this wonderful game, as well as pry open that BattleTag with a crowbar. You know, swing it around, bash some heads, get some answers out of these people. So with that, listen here, gather around. I got one cool story for you. A tale of two witch doctors, treasure and power, unlimited for these two fine providers of the voodoo, spreading their plagues, attacking like psychos, and all in all, never forgetting to write down their tale to pass it along to others as they pass them by. So with that, I would like to welcome Tim to the show from the Kulle Story Podcast.
Hey, how's everybody going?
Good. What's up? How are you?
Nervous. like I said, I haven't done anything like this before. Usually it's just, me doing my thing. So, other than nervous though, doing all right.
No problem. Don't worry. I don't bite. There are many others that will. I won't.
All right. I'm feeling good.
We got a warder. We got our Diablo 3. What else do we need? I mean, really.
That's it. That's all you need in life.
I mean, it would be nice if Dean was here, but again, we won't pry too much.
Dean, yeah, I will have some discussions with him afterwards.
We love Dean. He's a funny guy. He brings a lot.
He does, and that's why I wanted him for Kulle Story Bro. Besides just me, because I get dull and boring, and he keeps it lively.
He got that energy. He has that energy of life that, I don't know, somehow gets sucked out of us. Way too early.
Yes, exactly. But he's not much of a limelight flower. He doesn't like to really get out there and do it, and I really had to pester him for weeks just to do Kulle Story Bro.
Alright, well, we'll leave a little bit of that for later. So, all in all, how has Diablo 3 been treating you over the last couple of weeks? Seasons have been, I think, out for about a month now. We got a couple of those glorious hot fixes in. So, how's Diablo been for you over the last couple of weeks?
Pretty well, actually. If anybody listens to the show, the pet doctor is my bread and butter. That is the build and the character that I love to play. And I would like to see some changes coming with the pet doctor and some more gear, mainly Tasker and Theo. And I always complain about those gloves on every single episode we do because I can't find them. But other than that, it's been fairly decent. Nowhere near in the leaderboards where I want to be personally, and I probably won't get there playing a pet doctor, just with the way pets are squishy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I started leveling up other characters. Dean and I use a adventure mode Torment 6 type leveling process. It takes anywhere from an hour and a half to get a character to 70. So right now I think we're working on our 4-player group to try to hit the leaderboards here in a bit. I got my little brother convinced that he needs to play a 0 DPS monk for us, and he's graciously agreed to do that. So we're all leveling different classes right now. Demon Hunters, a couple Wizards, Crusaders, try to figure out who can find the best gear and the best DPS to support that 0 DPS monk. So level wise 70, we're doing really well, and gear wise a little slow, but I think we'll get there and be able to make a push.
Yeah, that's very nice. And I guess I could make a little comment on what you did. How you were talking about the pet witch doctor and how pets are kind of squishy. Kind of sort of along the same lines, how demon hunters are like OP with their sentry bills and M6 and all that lovely stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's because I had that on my non-seasonal soft card character. I have a demon hunter right now with that ability, but I'm going along. Okay, if they do nerf sentries in some way or fashion where you can't use them, I'm trying to figure out like what the next build is going to be. So I'm aiming for in seasons, to give myself a purpose and a goal in seasons, is to build what I'm calling the M4N4 build. Basically, it's Marauders 4-piece, Nats 4-piece.
Okay.
So it focuses purely around, like, I call real pets, because I don't consider sentries really pets, because they don't move, they don't have health bars, yet they are as strong as your character, if that little tad bit strong with the DPS output. It's a little bit wonky when you really think about it, and it's part of the reason for the imbalance, especially since you can have 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it does break the game when you really think about it, because a group size is 4, yet you have 5 of them plus yourself, and then you have your Templar and then your pet, so it's like mind-numbing amounts of DPS that comes out of it. I admit it, as a demon hunter, I admit it. So, I'm trying to think of like, what can I do as a suitable DPS build? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on my pets, I'm going to focus on Reign of Vengeance, because that's the purpose of having the Nats 4-piece.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just trying to figure out what gem combinations are good now, and I think I got a good setup for now. It may change later, once I get... surprisingly enough, I've gotten like 3 or 4. I have gotten 4. I'll go on the limb to say I've gotten 4 Nats reflections to drop in seasons. Nutty.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like it's like the server was like, no, you're gonna get Nats reflections, but you're not gonna get Marauder's pants. And I was going, this game is getting wonky, it's weird, I don't know RNG anymore, I'm just gonna wrap up everything, put in a blanket, and just hitchhike across this, the wonderful land that is Diablo 3, because RNG is whack. And then I finally got my Marauder's pants, so the only thing I need right now is the Nats Slayer, and I'll have the 4 Marauder piece set, and I'll have the Nats 4-piece set, and then I could really start tweaking, because I have a Calamity for the other one-hander, and luckily enough, I've managed to get a Ramalani's, or as some people in our mumble chat, a Ramalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, Ramalama Ding Dong.
A Ramalani's gift, so I can actually put a socket on the Calamity, and then get the atrocious damage roll on it up like another 200 to 300 on it, so it's actually usable. But that's what I've been focusing on, because I know the sentries is, even if nothing happens to them, I would like to play the demon hunter differently and try to figure out something, unique, or at least unique to myself. Like, I actually tried to make a build of my own rather than just copying everybody else's, and I think that's just the true nature of what Diablo should be, in just a general sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. One thing I liked about Diablo 2 is that there was so many different build variances for each class. Paladins, right? You had Smiteidins, Hammerdins, Zealadins. There was a couple Thorns builds out there. It's just every class had multiple things. With Diablo, it seems like there's 2 for most classes, and then 1 for really demon hunters. I mean, the Marauder 6-piece with sentries. It seems like that's what everybody's running if you want to compete. I just wish there was more, 3 or 4 different builds that you could really play for each class.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's like one of those weird fortunately, unfortunately things that, like, yes and no, this is great, yet sucks at the same time. When they took these sets, now this is going back to regular vanilla Diablo 3, the sets actually weren't really all that much stronger as far as the legendaries, and then because everyone's like, I could just get like a rare, oh god, well, I forget the name of the rare class of crossbows or bows that were selling like hotcakes if you got one in Inferno.
Oh yeah, you just yeah, exactly.
Like it was like instantly like $100 on the real money auction house, or like $1 billion gold on the gold auction house, and it was just like a stupid rare. Someone that had like 1k DPS, you were set for money. It was like stupid, because those were rolling better than the legendaries.
Right. Dean ended up finding a quadfecta pair of gloves right at the beginning, sold it for over 2 billion gold, and we just bought stuff for the rest of our characters and still had hundreds of millions of gold left over when the auction house finally went kaput.
Yeah, it's like insane when you think about it. But then again, it's like, okay, you find a set and it sucks. It's like you found this rare item. And it's weaker than a rare.
You get rid of it, you're like, oh yeah, this is crap.
It's like weird dynamics as far, and it shows you how hard it can be for developers to say, okay, we're gonna make these items really strong, so the other items are all crap. But there's only like a limited amount of these items, then everything kind of goes to kaplooey.
Yeah, I like what they've done so far. I think it still needs a little bit more work, but with legendaries, changing the way skills work or improves additional skills. So these items become very build specific type items. So they're not really game changers, but they're build changers. You run around, you find a piece of gear, and you're like, oh, sweet, now it's time to try out a new build because I got these items. And I like that aspect of it personally.
Mm-hmm. All right, now, I think we may have veered a little bit. Tangents are our thing. So, before we go any further in actual game discussion, which is fine, this is how this is supposed to go. Tangents are a wonderful thing in life. We usually learn more that way. But let's get to know you a little bit more. So, for those who don't know, Scythe and Shield does a interview section first. That's 2 parts. A standard set of questions I always have, then a rapid fire questions that the unwilling victim, guest, never knows the questions until they hear them for the first time. So make it exciting on my part. Maybe a little nervous on theirs. Nothing too prying, I hope. And then the last segment will be, the current topics issues, concerns of the day in Diablo 3, which this show, if you haven't seen already, will be primarily patch 2.1, minorly any concerns, but mainly seasons and how we're all doing, how we like them, any kind of flaws, and etc. Just basic critiquing, commentary, constructive criticism. All that fun stuff that we don't have enough of, I think, in the community, always yearning to have more. So let's get on with it, as we could say. So, even though I'm calling you Tim, if I may ask, what's your handle name, or what handle you go by, and is there any history behind it?
Well, in Diablo, it's Dr. Summons. And that's just because I wanted to try to create a nifty name for a pet doctor. I played the PTR and just fell in love with Pet Doctor, mainly because Diablo 2, a summon answer build with the Necro and the Skellies and everything, I played hours upon hours. Never got to level 99 on the leaderboards and the ladders, but it got pretty close a bunch of times. Then I was in the Navy. I'd go out on deployment for a while, and after like 3 months, if you don't log in, you lose your character on Diablo 2 way back in the day. So I would have to constantly be recreating my characters, and it was always a necromancer. So playing PTR, I really wanted to do a summoner type character with D3, and the Witch Doctor was the closest. So Witch Doctor summoned Dr. Summons.
Direct and to the point. and even though it's kind of like now, admittedly, I'll admit, I didn't play Diablo 2. I was one of these Diablo 3 newbies that came in. But
Blasphemy.
I know.
Why did I agree to this? Oh.
I know. It's like I have like, I don't know. I have like I guess like new players guilt because I never played it. So everyone's like, "Oh, you never played it. You don't know how the game really was." It's like I know. Bow my head in shame and everything. But I'm glad, even though we may not see the Necromancer in the future because they've really turned the Witch Doctor into a true pet class that you could have 30 things out at once. I'm glad that they at least are paying homage to the old Diablo 2 class of the Necromancer in a new way. It kind of puts a new twist on an old class, and so you still get to play something like it. It's just in a different form. That's why I like what they did with it, and then that is finally there.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. As much as I love playing the Necromancer, I do like playing new things, new and interesting. So I would like to have more pets and stuff like that, but really, it's a new game. Enjoy it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. You have no idea how happy that makes me. 'Cause not even a tangent or a mini rant. I just feel too few people take that to heart. They don't know that, they don't do it. They just try to make something that is into something it's not. But
oh yeah, I agree.
We'll avoid tangents and rants, and we'll move on to the next question. How old are you, if you want to mention, if you dare, and what's your main profession, work, study, anything that you do?
I am 32 years old, and I work at a test reactor.
Ooh.
Nuclear reactor.
Ooh, that sounds spiffy.
It does. It sounds a lot cooler than what it really entails, but that's my background. I joined the Navy at age 18. I became a Navy nuke mechanic, got my bachelor's degree in nuclear technology, and so that just kind of flows into a nuclear test reactor.
See, kids, engineering, it can be a career path. Yeah, it's fun. It's like, I can just imagine, I'm a nuclear engineer. You say that.
I'm not. Well, I'm not even an engineer though. I'm an operator. So instead of building it, I operate it.
So you tell people that ooh, that sounds really exciting, and in your head you're going, no, I just stare at a red button and just make sure it doesn't light up.
Yeah, kind of. There's more computer screens and numbers. There's a little more to it. But yeah, going and trying to explain it, my mom always asked me, what are you doing now? And I try to explain to her, and 10 minutes into it, her eyes glaze over, and she's just kind of nodding, and I'm like, you didn't hear anything I said for the past 10 minutes, did you? And she's like, oh, no, I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, right. So
it's like we'll try this again next week.
I piecemeal it to her every once in a while, so I think she gets the gist of it, but everybody's the same way. I mean, nuclear powers, people just ignore it. They think it's big bad stuff, and they're like, oh, I don't even want to deal with it. Just, yep, okay, that's cool. So that's what I do.
Exciting. Even if you say it isn't, it's like, ooh, nuclear. It's like you get the old slow saying.
Yeah. People are like, so you build bombs? I'm like, no, I work at a power plant. I help make power and stuff like that and test things. Oh, so nuclear bombs? No. Okay, yeah, fine. Yes, bombs. I make bombs.
It's nothing. Nothing's here. Move along. Yeah. All right. So, what was your first time seeing and/or playing Diablo?
Oh, first time. Diablo 1. I've been Diablo player since the very beginning. My high school science teacher actually got me into it. Mr. Blinko. I still remember his name. He was a big Diablo fan for whatever reason. And I went to a really small school. Not a lot of things to do. I think there was 26 kids in my high school when I graduated. So in a way to try to get kids to do more stuff, kind of get out of trouble, because when you live in a small town like that, it's really easy to get in trouble. He went the nerd route and tried getting a lot of kids involved with other things, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and Diablo. And he actually got the school to agree to let him install Diablo on all the school computers and network it so kids in their downtime could play Diablo in game with other kids in other classrooms. And I finished my homework and stuff early, so that way I could go play Diablo, and just fell in love with it from there, and have continued the series, and just always been a big fan of it.
I'm trying to imagine that, like 26 in a graduating class.
No, there was 26 in the high school. There were 6 in my graduating class.
God. No, can't fathom. And then saying, oh yeah, like Diablo, Magic the Gathering, D&D, like the unholy trifecta of like any PSA parent teacher association, whatever it's called nowadays. It's like no.
Yeah, I know.
Like cue Indiana Jones and like the face melt explode from the Ark of the Covenant at the end. It's like no. That's nuts. I can never imagine that happening nowadays though. It's like, no, you must do extracurricular activities, play soccer, and be a chess champion nowadays.
Yeah, I don't get it, really. I mean, playing video games, you do interact with people. I mean, we're sitting here having a conversation, right? We're talking back and forth. We're doing an interview. We're going over stuff. I don't have to be out talking to people I don't like. I mean,
exactly.
Playing games, it does get people involved, and it does promote social skills and all that.
It's like let me play video games so I can be antisocial until I'm ready to be social with the people I want to be social with.
yes, I totally agree. I could talk for hours and ranting and raving on that whole aspect, especially being a father and having kids and stuff. And people are like, you let your kids do these things? I'm like, yeah, I do them. It's fine.
6 kids, graduating class. Everyone tells me having like 120 in my high school graduating class was small compared to others. 6, damn. Okay, moving along. Now you already kind of answered the next question with who got you into it, that wondrous teacher of yours. So we'll just skip ahead to the second to last question, which is, what has kept you going throughout the years? You got into it with your teacher, Diablo 1, but what has kept you playing, I'm assuming Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, now Diablo 3, and Reaper of Souls? What has kept you going through all that time and not leave it in the dust?
Oh, man. It's an addiction. I don't... I've strayed away, play World of Warcraft for many years. And whenever I got bored, it was kind of like just that old fallback, old faithful. I'd always go back and start playing Diablo 2 again for a while and just get into it. It's kind of, in nature, I think it's just it's a simple game. It's a hack and slash. You can jump in for a couple hours, kill a bunch of things, find a couple items, and just feel like you accomplished something in game and not have to just totally commit to it. And with the lifestyle, being a parent and things like that, it was just easy. It's something I can do here and there and still feel like I've accomplished something game-wise.
Yeah, don't need to set up the raid schedule or adhere to a raid schedule, dungeon schedule, and that farming schedule.
Yeah, you don't have to sit in Molten Core for 18 hours continuously wiping over and over again.
Don't remind me of those days. I mean, I enjoy them, but man, it was like you felt you did work at the end of Molten Core raid.
Yes.
It's like you sat in your chair sweating bullets for like 6 hours, and then it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you were done. You were in your bed. You slept till like noon the next day.
Or you got up at 5 and went to work. So I think that with Diablo, it's still fun, and it's just simple in nature. It's straight up hack and slash fun stuff, and I just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Blizzard keeps me interested on it.
Alright. So with that, we have arrived to the also special question. Before we go on to the best of time and worst of time section, which is, how did Kulle Story Bro come to be?
Well, I love theory crafting with Diablo 3. I like looking at other people's builds and just all the different things people are doing with it. I like reading forums, the community stuff, and I love talking about it. And a lot of people I know around here aren't that I hang out with. There's only a couple people that play Diablo 3, and they're on a completely different work schedule than I am. So I only get to talk to them about it every couple of weeks or so. And I needed an outlet to be able to talk about Diablo 3, just to do it, since I enjoy getting into the nitty gritty of it. And I thought, well, why not try a podcast? I tried it back in the day with some World of Warcraft stuff. I think I only had like 2 episodes with with some friends of mine, and we had just had a lot of fun doing it. It was a horrible podcast, so I'm not going to tell you the name of it. I don't want anybody to go find it. It's lost in the
Google never forgets.
And so I thought, why not give it a try again? I wanted Dean to get involved with it, because we're always playing Diablo 3 together, and we're always on Skype just talking back and forth. So I said, well, let's just shift the format over a little bit and try it on a podcast. The name Kulle Story Bro came from about 2 hours of us throwing things back and forth and not coming up with anything really good. So we just started going through achievements, and stumbled across the Kulle Story Bro achievement. And Dean made some joke about it. I can't remember what it was. And I thought, you know what? That actually sounds pretty decent, because we're telling a story. You know, we accomplished all this stuff, and kind of like, oh yeah, Kulle Story Bro. And it is Diablo 3 related. So we decided, just, you know what, let's go with it. It was available for like on Gmail for an email account. There was no web page with Kulle Story Bro type stuff. There was some other video casts from like 2012, but I hadn't seen anything updates in a couple of years. So I said, all right, that's it. We're going with Kulle Story Bro.
That's awesome.
I wish there was more to it, but that's really just how it kind of fell into place.
I would never have thought to go to the achievements in game and be like, yeah, that one sounds good. That's a ringer.
we were so lost. We tried all kinds of different names, and it just sounded so bad. Not that Kulle Story Bro sounds, amazing or great, but compared to everything else we were thinking, it is a 10, hands down. That's how bad the other names were. And that's why I don't have a handle. That's why I use my name, Tim, for my stuff, because I'm bad at names. Every time I think it sounds cool, it is not at all.
It's like people look at you a little funny going, no.
Yeah, they're like, really? You thought that was a good idea? And I'm like, yeah. Why? It's not.
Yeah. Actually, I must give credit fully to my wife for GrindExp. She was the one who magically took all the ideas and all the words I was thinking of and just put them together in a nice, neat package. So my wife is cool. Full credit for the GrindExp name itself. So I'm with you on that one. Like, I don't know. Like, everything, like, I know it's like okay, but in the end, it really sucks. Like, help me. Oh, that sounds amazing. So definitely feel you on that one. So we've reached the conclusion of Part A, and we'll now go to Part B. Don't worry.
Oh man,
I didn't go too far. Remember, like I said, I did this with like 10 minutes before the show started, so I didn't have that much time to go butt wild on it. All right. So this is the best times or worst of times segment. It's a rapid fire and answer section. Usually 8 questions. I try to get in there, try to personalize them a little bit more to each interviewee as we go. So with that, we'll just move along and get to it. So I think arbitrary first question is, what cool story lore-wise in Diablo is your favorite?
Oh man. To be honest, I really don't listen to the lore that much. I skip through a lot of all those sequences. But I'd have to say I guess maybe the death of Deckard Cain, just because he was such a staple in Diablo 2 that I think it took some cojones to kill him off when they did, and I actually gasped a little bit when I found out that he was dead. It was like, no way, he's coming back, right? And he doesn't. So it was something I just didn't expect from Blizzard, and they kind of blew me away with it.
Yeah. All right, and second question follows kind of closely to that one. Favorite lore character?
Ooh, man. I think Wirt.
The mysterious Wirt.
Yeah, because he was just kind of that weird kid, and you had to go loot his body, and you steal his leg to get to the cow level on Diablo 2, and I found that funny. A little sick and demented that you're tearing off this little kid's leg to get to this awesome cow level. I thought it was kind of neat.
Like, don't worry, little Wirt's only demonically possessed. It's okay. That makes it totally legitimate and okay. 110%.
Yeah, it's completely horrible. But I clicked on his body every time I saw it laying there and trissed him.
Yes. Clickables must have clickables. Next question. What item do you really hate Dean for having?
What item does he have that I hate? Well, season-wise, he doesn't have anything I'm jealous of yet. Out of season, he has a Star Metal Kukri that I have not found a single one in game, and that pisses me off. That he has it and does not play with it. And just sits there.
Ooh, shots fired. Who, now, between you and Dean, who carries who while playing together?
Oh, I think it starts out, to be honest, like I carry him at the beginning, and he just ends up outpacing me, and before long, he's carrying me. He'll never admit it. He's too nice of a guy to admit it, and he'll say that I always carry him. But right now, he definitely, his Jade Doc is carrying me all over the place.
Alrighty. Any item you wish you didn't salvage?
No, never look back. Get rid of it. Salvage it.
Never look back. Never say die.
I find so many things when I salvage them. I got a bad memory sometimes that I forget, even if I did salvage it. But I kind of hoard stuff for a while, for months, until I have like 3 or 4 meals, and then I go and get rid of it. So by that time, I've got everything I've needed. I never went back yet. I know it's gonna happen, and it's one of the things I'm always so worried about. Like, oh, do I want to get rid of this? And it's just like, screw it, done, forget it. So no, not yet.
Just let me at those forgotten souls. Daddy needs to re-roll something tonight.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Next one is, what class should you legally not be allowed to play for fear of bringing the entire class down a peg or two?
Oh man, I'd probably say demon hunters since they're so high up now, and I'm trying to jump on the bandwagon. And I'm thinking as soon as I get all my pieces and give it a try, I'm gonna stall out at like tier 30 or something, and I'll be like, God, demon hunters suck.
Oh, alrighty. Second to last one here. Any gear or item piece that just says, nope, not jumping for you, not now, not tomorrow, not ever.
Tasker and Theo. TNT. It's the piece I really, really want from my pet doc. I got my Mask of Jerem. Pretty decent one. I think it's like a 97% extra damage one. But that Tasker and Theo gloves, additional attack speed is just... I really, really want it to top it off, and it will not drop. And I don't think it's going to. I'm pretty sure I'll find a Star Metal Kukri or a Renho Flayer before I find those Tasker and Theos.
I feel your pain. I managed to get one through Kadala when I was still doing Rifted forwards, but that's when I was like hardcore doing it, and oh god, it took like a solid week. To go through Kadala and finally get a pair.
I have one on my non-season character, and it was from Kadala, and I got the Mask of Jerem from Kadala, and then I started rolling gloves right after, and it was like 3 gloves later I got the Tasker and Theo. They were within 30 seconds of each other, so I was like, I don't know what everyone's bitching about. This is pretty easy. And now now I know why everybody complains.
You know the pain.
Yeah, I think it's karma coming back on me. I bitched about other people too much, posted things, was just like, I don't know what you're complaining about. Look, I got mine. Yeah, and it's a quadfecta too. Yeah, everything. Perfect rolls. Dang it.
Yeah. Alrighty, and the last question is, what affix combination, as I put it, makes you go nope? Basically makes you think twice about attacking.
Well, right now, I have to say, if I'm playing my Witch Doctor, it is Thorns immediately. With Rain of Toads, as soon as I see Thorns, I just let the pets do it. And it's probably just me. Maybe I don't have enough life on hit, but with it, Rain of Toads being a channeling spell, I'll just keep going, trying to get some fetish sycophants going. And as soon as the Thorns pops up, I see the red circle of hate. It automatically kills me. My life just goes, boom, just done.
The red circle of hate.
That's what it is. It's worse than the red circle of death for Xbox 360. If you were familiar with that, this is even worse than that. So that Thorns, and I used to hate Arcane Frozen. That was my plagues. I'd see it and say, oh no, we're bypassing these elites. I'm not even gonna worry about killing these guys. But I have a Countess now, so I don't even worry about it as much. It still does get kind of annoying. I guess would be Arcane, Frozen, and Illusionist, or Horde. That group, I will fight them, but I hate to.
Yeah. I'm more or less along the same lines. I'm beginning to really loathe Wallers, like beyond anything. like oh, I'm in Vengeance shooting cluster arrow, and I'm just hitting the wall. I'm not even hitting the damn elite packs or anything like that. Lovely.
Yeah, Wallers does get annoying. That is true. And they're pretty good at putting their walls. They'll put like a desecration or a plague or the big thunderball. I can't remember, orbit, the big orbit, and you'll be cruising around. They'll throw up on a wall and just funnel you straight into death. Sometimes
it's like, death. It tastes good. Like what?
You're like, wait, I don't want to run this way. What? Ah, son of a.
It's like 3 seconds to res.
Yep.
All right, so that concludes Best Times, Worst Times segment. You've made it out alive.
Whew.
And now we will move on to the main chunky topic of the main discussion chunky topic, which is again patch 2.1, minorly, but primarily dealing with seasons. And how's it going? What's up? What can we do? Ideas. So I guess I'll just start it off by season's been out for about a month now, as we said earlier. Now, my original concept of seasons was like, okay, there's gonna be season-specific legendaries, but they're going to become part of the regular legendary drop pool. And admittedly, some of them didn't look as interesting as we may have thought they were. So I'm like, am I really going to do seasons? Like, well, I'm a softcore player. I feel I'm just enough invested in softcore that if I went to hardcore, it would be a little too much starting over-wise. Sort of like Paragon level and the amount of gold I have and everything. So I'm like, but okay, you know what? I'll get a character up to 70. It shouldn't take that long. Such blah 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 blah. So cut to now where I have my level 70 Demon Hunter, and you know, as I said before, I'm one piece away from having M4 N4, and I'm actually really enjoying it. What I liked about seasons in the beginning was the whole almost like rediscovering the class, because there's all the initial changes that you may have not played through because they were through the leveling up process that you for me, it's just like playing with like the piercing frost rune of Impale was different this time around than what it was, and playing with Fan of Knives again, it was like, oh, like you get to rediscover all these abilities that you like never would bat eye and at the end game or top build section when you get there. And it was just nice to almost kind of rediscover your class and just play a little differently, and not be so regimented in the top end builds. Like, you know, you're just gonna use the abilities as you do when you level up, see which ones are good. And I think more than not, it was nice to be able to use the gear you were finding during the leveling process now more than ever. It wasn't so harsh in Reaper Souls and with the seasons and all that fun stuff. As far as like leaderboards and everything, I'm not really going for that. It's not that I don't want the competition, but I'm more of a, I don't know if I want to say hoarder or collector of things, but I just want to make the best character I can. And once I get there, I kind of move on to something else, which could be anything else. It could be competition. So leaderboards aren't necessarily my thing, but I definitely found a liking for seasons. I went from not doing it at all to, yeah, I'll do this again. I'll do season 2 again, and that may be when I do the hardcore switch over, because I'll pretty much have a maxed out Demon Hunter, and I'll have I definitely have a wizard up there between all the spare pieces of gear. That it'll be a nice switch over, you know, the whole One Life to Live soap opera that is hardcore. So that's my viewpoint on it. How have you been taking seasons over the last couple of weeks? Viewpoints and initial thoughts and thoughts now on it.
I love it. Personally, I like that they added something new to Diablo 3 for in-game stuff to do. The hardcore portion, I do have like a level 60 hardcore barbarian on non-season. I probably won't do the hardcore portion through the seasons, mainly because lag type issues. My internet's not the bestest where I'm living, so my latency runs around 140 to like 170, 180 on average. And I've seen a lot of people, until Blizzard fixes every single issue with rubber banding, I will not even step into the hardcore world again. I've seen so many videos of people dying due to server lag, than them just being dumb type of thing. And if I lose a character because I screwed up because I was dumb, I can shake that off pretty easy. If I lose a character because the game screwed me, it's just gonna eat away at me. It's gonna piss me off for a while, and I wouldn't be able to live it down for a little while, and it would bug me. So softcore is where I've been sticking around, and leaderboards, I do like it. I'm gonna try to compete. I think I'd be happy with myself if I broke into the top 1,000 for all the characters, because there's a lot of good players out there, man. And I'm not going to be able to compete with those guys in the top 10. They are good at what they do, and they got it down to an art form. And I'm too much of a casual player on that end to jump into the elitist ranks. But overall, I'm enjoying it. There's still some more things I'd like to see them do or implement. But I think they're heading in the right direction. I think they're on the right path, and I think we'll eventually it'll get even better as more and more people get involved with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was kind of goes into the next question of basically, are there any flaws in the system, and that kind of works into now we know that there were many issues, especially in the beginning, having the first people reach level 70 within an hour and a half. Miner's Gold and what was it, the Miser's Will, Miner's
Gold, Jar of Souls, Matriarch's Bones.
Yeah, basically either very limited or no kill quests, which I did a little bit of.
I used it a lot on the PTR. I didn't use it on live though.
Yeah, I just did a little bit because I just couldn't stand like the last 10 levels. Like I'm at 60. I'm at 61. I have all the skills. I just want to get to 70. Like okay, screw it. But yeah, it's like I think what a lot of people are echoing, and I think are a little bit more understanding than not, is there's just a lot more going on, I think, in the core game of Diablo 3 versus Diablo 2, as far as like the waypoint system is always there, on top of adventure mode, which unlocks everything. It's not like you have to run through the campaign and do everything strictly before you can unlock adventure mode again. You just have it open.
Right.
There's a lot more at play and at stake for balancing out, making it a true equal race for everybody. Even if everyone has adventure mode from the beginning, there's no outright outliner as far as experience gain, which I think is important. And I even though everyone says, as I quote, too late to disabling those 4 bounties in adventure mode, which we don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if they said it was gonna be like a permanent disable or if they're gonna rework them when the season ends. But I don't know. They may be working eternally to fix them, to keep them in there, or they may just have disabled them until the later point in time.
I'm sure they'll add a killable mob before you get the experience out of it. And the good thing is there's always going to be another season. So
yeah, exactly. So I guess just to kind of sum it up in that tangent too much, do you kind of feel like, even though season 1 had a lot of stuff in it, has legendaries and they're treating it like a regular season, do you kind of feel how some people are calling this like really a test season? Do you kind of go along with that stance and with what they're saying about it?
Oh yes, I completely agree. I mean, Dean and I spoke in length about PTR, and in our opinion from season, I think it was season 4 is where they ended, that it wasn't ready to go live. Like there were so many things that we still personally would like to see fixed or added, and it still went live. I don't know if they were feeling pressured or not, and that's weird with Blizzard, because usually they take all the time they need. They don't care. To be determined or to be announced is one of their favorite things whenever it comes to an expansion or a patch. But I think, season 1 is kind of it feels a little testy in a way, or especially, I mean, look at all the hot fixes that have been thrown out with it and all the acknowledgments of classes and stuff. But it's been fun. I'm still enjoying playing it and looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, I definitely am too. Especially with, I think there was a recent blue post that said that they are looking. I don't think that. I want to use the wrong terminology. It's not that they're looking into, but they are creating new legendary gems for future, I guess seasons is the only thing I could really think of, or content patches, however they're going to work it. Because they're derived from greater rifts, not necessarily from the seasons themselves. So they are looking, and it was a little obvious because they had the scroll bar there, but there was nothing to scroll. So we all kind of figured, okay, they're going to add more, which is always fun because then it makes it harder for you to choose between the max of 3 you can have between your 2 rings and your amulet and everything else. I think the gems have been an awesome addition. I finally am now running 3 of them on my Demon Hunter. Let's see if I can remember which 3 I'm running.
Gogok, Bane of the Trapped, and Pain Enhancer?
I think so. Is Gogoth the Smite? 15% chance to smite?
No, that's Marini Starweaver.
Yeah, that's the one I'm running.
Okay.
Because I figured if I'm going to do the Reign of Vengeance,
that's true. You are running
Reign of Vengeance
a little different build than the Cookie Cutter.
Would have a chance to proc, but I have to get. The thing is, I've just been. Okay. This actually works in Miner 2.1 feedback. I've been a little bit minorly pissed at doing rifts because it seems like up until like today, figures before doing the podcast, every time I would kill a Rift Guardian, and I'm doing like Torment 4, mind you. I could probably do Torment 5, but it would take a while. Every time I kill a Rift Guardian, it's okay. It's not bad enough to get trolled by a Greater Rift trial run keystone, but to not get any other legendary at all on every single run, and I'm going. Now I know Melissa said that the legendary gem, the trial keystone, is not taking the slot of a potential legendary item dropping, but you know what? I know anecdotal evidence of one person is not enough to support an entire theory, but at least for me, it kind of feels that way. So until today, of course, and then like, oh, here's a legendary cloak you don't need. Here's a legendary chest. Maybe it may be better. Here, take it. Well, I'm like, oh, this game, and like. Again, back to the whole like forward nat reflections. Like, try one. Like, really? So, but yeah, I feel season 2 will be interesting. And I can't really think of too many ways to improve them. Make them. I think the biggest thing is just making them more I say legit, like all slang and everything. But now we have all those. Well, at least known ways of power leveling out of the way. But it's still so... I feel like they'll never get rid of all the power leveling ways.
Oh, no. I mean, there's so many smart people in this community. Just look at the forums, the podcasts. There is some smart people that have all this figured out. Everybody's going to find the best way to level, right? I mean, that's going to be the point of it. So someone's going to come up with something, guaranteed, and they'll find a way to fix it, and then someone will find something new, and then Blizzard will fix that, and then someone will find something new. I mean, that's the point of the game, is to always be find the best way to accomplish, to be most efficient.
Yeah, especially for leaderboards seasons where that is the prime directive, where efficiency, even though it may overrule the point of the game in some cases, or the fun aspect in some cases, at least in seasons and leaderboards, that's almost like the sole cause. So that in those specific places, I feel like that's perfectly fine. Efficiency is not a dirty word to throw around.
Exactly.
Unlike everywhere else. And
well, you mentioned a way to improve. You talked about season only legendaries with them being kind of subpar. That would be a great place to improve for seasons, to actually make these game changing legendaries. Right now they are. You're completely right. You hit the nail on the head with that one. They're blah.
Yeah, it's like I am using the season-only bow that turns elemental arrow into a generator, or at least I think that's the season-only one for Demon Hunter, and it's nice. Again, if I'm so wrong on this, then I'm so wrong. I mean, it's nice. It's definitely working it well with the Bane of the Traps because I'm using the Frost variant of elemental arrows, so it goes through and then they get hit up to 10 targets afterwards.
Well, once you level up your Bane of the Trap, it'll do its
yeah, it'll do it itself. So it's like one of those things that there's a lot of going on balancing wise, like the gems versus the gear versus the weapons versus the abilities themselves and all the different rune elements. I give the development team credit because there's just so much to balance.
Oh yeah, exactly. Every time you add some new aspect to a game, whether it be a legendary gem or if they even start implementing runes like they had in D2 or charms, you got to kind of factor in it's a butterfly effect because every new thing is someone's gonna find a way to exploit it.
Yeah, definitely. I guess another, even though it would be more or less changing the way the seasons work, I think a way to improve the seasons and keep them from getting stale, because a basic concept of all the different builds that each class has. I don't want to pick on my Demon Hunter anymore. Okay, like Roland's set for Crusaders. However max level it is compared to others. If that's like the top tier set for Crusaders, then every season it's just a race for everyone to complete the Roland set and then have the best set.
Right.
When they first were talking about seasons, I think it was at the launch party event, it was about, doing wacky and wild things on a season. And I particularly like the suggestion that the crew over at West March Workshop threw it around. That was like, what if they had a season where no set item dropped, and I would go to the only set items you could make, or the only set items that you could have, or the ones that you could craft. So like hollow protectors would actually be pretty damn useful because you could be like a wand and shield, or a sword and board, and then you can mix that in, like Captain Crimson's, I think is the name.
Mm-hmm.
The cooldown,
and
cooldown reduction and the resource reduction set, and then Orgil's would be another automatic. So it would, and I feel that would be a better test of balancing out the classes versus where they are now, because my biggest grief when people say Demon Hunters are out of balance, which I totally acknowledge, and this is a small mini rant, is yes, Demon Hunters are powerful. The Demon Hunters are powerful because of a top level set of gear, which at minimum requires 5 slots to find, 6 if you don't have a Royal Ring of Grandeur, which is a whole lot easier to get nowadays.
Oh, I love that
God.
change. Oh, so
thank
beautiful.
God. I love that hotfix. That was like the spicy hotfix from
man.
like heaven right there. But still, it requires a minimum 5 pieces of gear and the Ring of Royal Grandeur, all to roll well. And then you have to get a quiver, and then if you feel extra spicy, you can use Custom Engineer, which is a passive. Now, that's not all that much compared to some other classes, but other classes, even though they may not have the power, can do a lot more with one item. I think, isn't there like a belt that unlocks all Punish runes, I think, for a Crusader? It's a season-only item.
Yeah.
It may not be Punish, it may be a different basic attack ability, but yeah.
Shield Bash, or... I'm trying to remember.
I think it is Punish, if I remember correctly. So you compare like one waste that to, say, the Veer's 4-piece set for the wizard that unlocks all of Archon's rooms.
Right.
It's like you start looking at like weird top level gear like imbalances versus like one legendary item versus like a whole 5 or, well, really 6 or 7 items for another class. it's like really weird when you start looking at this from a balance perspective, because the power is in the items, it's not in the class. So if you took away the set items, then you realize the class was being perched up by the items, so it's item crutches. That's the term I came up for it, where they're using items as crutches for a class rather than balancing out the classes at the base level, which is what they really should be doing. They have tried, they have gone through multiple iterations in Rebirth Souls, and I give them all the credit for it. The classes are much better for it, but I hope they don't use item crutches too much, because then it becomes a race to get that particular item, and if the item doesn't drop, you're suffering through the class until you get that particular item. So that's the whole overbalanced mini rant, but I feel that they are doing better, and I feel that they are improving the classes, and I just hope that eventually all the classes get to the same power level that, again, the Demon Hunters are at. I think Wizards are actually getting up there, because they're finally critiquing the Firebird set. They're finally figuring out what's good, what's not, and everything like that. But the other classes still need help all around. I feel, even though balance is also kind of a dirty word, because when it's overdone, I feel that there's still going to be a lot of that going on forever and ever with seasons. I went a little bit long, but what's your opinions on that kind of matter? And
I agree to a point. I do like to see the item crutches in a way, because I think it opens up additional builds. I hate to always go back to Diablo 2, the predecessor, but in that game, a lot of times you'd find an item that completely would change how you were going to play your character. One item, you'd be like, oh, time to re-roll a new Necro, or time to re-roll a new Paladin, because that one item would be a build changer. You'd have to totally start a new character because you wanted to play with that item, and I enjoyed that. And I think the D3 kind of got away from that with the legendaries were so blah, and we talked about the rares being better than legendaries. That I think legendaries, when one drops, you should be really excited that you got a legendary, and it should promote like a new build for it. I enjoy that aspect of it. And I would hate to see Demon Hunters get nerfed. I think they're fine. I mean, it takes best in slot in a very specific gear set to get to where they're at. The rest of the classes seem to be lacking. I'd like to see them do the same thing. Like you mentioned, Firebird's got an overhaul, and it's bringing Wizards up. Barbarians with the I can't remember the name of the set.
Furious Charge?
Yeah, the Furious Charge one got a change, where Furious Charge was such a horrible skill. It had so many issues with it. It was just bad. Nobody was doing it. Everybody was using the Leap Quake set. One little change to that gear, and now everybody's running with the Furious Charge. I'd like to see more of it, more sets, more legendaries that allowed 3 or 4 different types of builds that would compete, and instead of being funneled into the one build really to be able to hit the top of the leaderboards. And it's going to be hard to do, because everybody's going to find that one build, that max DPS build, and that best in slot gear, and that's going to be the top, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the tragic irony, I think, is that the constant struggle trifecta between efficiency, balance, and fun.
Yes, exactly. I think they can do it. I mean, they got a lot of other games that they've messed around with. I mean, WoW, when it first came out, was bad for a lot of classes, and eventually they figured out a way to make each class, each skill set, each build tree worthwhile. And I think they'll get there with Diablo. Even Diablo 2, when it first came out, it was horrible. It was so bad. I think a lot of people tend to forget that. All they remember is the good Diablo 2, but it took years. It wasn't until like 1.10 or something to where summon answers were even useful. They were a horrible, horrible spec. So I think given time and along with community feedback and Blizzard, regardless of what some people say, they do listen to the community. And they're always trying to make the game better and make it fun. And I think we'll eventually get to that point. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think that's the tale of Diablo 3. It's always a progression for itself of making itself better, and us as the players enjoying it further and further, sticking with it. I think that may be the sole reason why so many people have stuck with it over the years, is that even though it may take a long time, the basic core of the game, kill monsters, get great loot. God, echoes of Josh Mascara from last year's BlizzCon are coming back in my mind. I think people generally like that. They like a certain amount of predictability in that core gameplay, but the ever march of progress of improving the game, improving classes, improving the abilities, adding new items, opening up possibilities, what I think everyone aspires for Blizzard to do. Is just that, as you said before, the community feedback is key, and it's key being constructive and not just being a troll.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could go on forums and say, buff me, make me the best. And granted, I would have a lot of fun being the most powerful class in the game, but it's not what the game should be.
Mm-hmm. It should be something that you take a path and you do it, and when you get there, you remember how long you took and all the RNG failures along the way, and all the good ones too, all the successes, and move along with that. So, with all that said, looking forward to the next season, Season 2, which in my head is probably going to start anywhere probably after BlizzCon. I'm guessing probably like mid to late November is when I'm guessing it. Get the next one going like right before Christmas, when everyone is off and they can really put all that time into crack Diablo time. What are any crazy ideas that you could think of? Like the one suggestion from the guys over at Westward Workshop was no set legendaries drops, just the things you can make.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah, mix it up a little way. I think they should introduce, like you said, the season-only legendaries. Make them a lot more powerful. Open up some different builds. I think would be pretty fun. To see some differences. I'd hate to see the same spec for every season, or the same build for every single season, constantly, because that would just get kind of boring, in my opinion. And maybe introducing some other stuff. Maybe some rune words, I think, would be fun. That would probably take a whole expansion though. Or charms, just different little tidbits that you could toss in that just change the game slightly. Not a whole bunch, but just little variances I'd like to see from season to season. And like I said, what that would look like, I don't really know.
Yeah, because when I think about it, I'm like, what do I want in a season? Like, wait, some of the rules can change? like at the higher levels, there's 5 affixes on every elite pack. Like, no, don't want that. No. It's like I can't really come up with anything, and it's like horrible. I asked a question, I don't have answers to my own question. But it's like, I mean, that's also a good thing, because me as a player, I don't know what they have in store, but also as a player, I understand they could do so much with the seasons as a testing ground, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It could throw something into a season, and if it doesn't work, it can just go away. Like it was a bad dream, like it never happened.
It's a bad dream. This character never existed. Where did all this gold come from, though? It's like, where do these 10 extra Paragon levels come from?
They're just they're a freebie. Just don't question it.
It's like they're just like, shh, freebie. This is to make up for that whole auction house like screw up. This is 6 months later. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to cover. Is there anything that you may want to touch on in our talks, or anything else you would like to bring up?
Just uploaded episode 7 for Kulle Story Bro. Just went live this morning.
Awesome.
We discussed some of the things I touched on here, leveling and making new characters, and Blizzard acknowledgments of things being a little bit screwed up. Greater rift density, pet doctor squishiness, things like that. But no, other than just self plugs, that's about it.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of which, before I close out the show, plug yourself away. Where can people find you? Where can people communicate with you? Anything and everything you want to let the public know.
All right, so we got a blog that I update once a week, kullestorybro.wordpress.com. We're on Twitter at KSB Podcast. I think we only have like 11 followers. But if we get a couple more followers, I will update that, use that forum there to post things in between episodes. If you don't want people to see your comments, but you still would like to get in touch with us, you can email us at coolstorybro@gmail.com. And ways to listen to us, we are on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, or you can do a direct download from the website.
Awesome. And I think selfish plug, I think when I first discovered your podcast from a dear friend Cyberwolf, which I think Shire Soulstone and Nevik found you from him, that was like the last straw. That was like, okay, I have to get on iTunes now. like all these new podcasters coming in, and they're on iTunes already. God, I have to figure this out, and I did. So
that's good. That is good.
So with that, thank you for listening to show episode, whatever you want to call it, number 8 of Scythe and Shield, with Tim from Kulle Story Bro Podcast. You can find this and many other Scythe and Shields, along with our other shows from To Ramble and Grindcast, over at GrindExp.com. You can also find us on Twitter at GrindExp, and you can also search for us on Facebook and YouTube with, you guessed it, GrindExp. And also, all our shows, all 3 of them, are available on iTunes, as I said before, and I will finally be submitting all 3 shows to Stitcher this upcoming week. I know the links are there, they don't go anywhere, but they will be active soon when everything gets approved. Yay, approval. So, once again, thank you for joining me. Had a great time, Tim.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No problem. And say hi to Dean for me.
Will do.
And that's the show, folks. Have a good night.